Hi there folks, welcome back to the channel. Farmsimgamer here, and we are on day 6 at Bucks County. Now when we woke up this morning we had all of our fields needed spraying, so went down to the farm shop and we got the Hardy Mega sprayer and set about spraying all of our fields. So we did field 15, 16, the field that we're on now, field 17 and 28 as well, and then as the day went by we picked up a couple of harvest contracts as well, sort of mid to late afternoon. So we did field 25, we did field 46, which is next to the sheep farm, which you can see just above the combine there. And then a little bit later we also picked up the contract on field 1, but we were still finishing off field 46 with our own combine, so we had to borrow some equipment for that. So we managed to pick up that was a good contract. We got the Fendt large combine harvester, Fendt tractor and a couple of trailers, enabling us to be able to do that job. Now with most of these contracts you do have to do the headlands, work those out before you can put a helper in to finish off the field. But that took us through until sort of just before dark really, when the sun set. But a good couple of contracts that saw us through for the rest of day 6. And that was pretty much it for yesterday, and we kind of called it a day then, and hopefully look forward to our fields being ready to harvest in the morning. Okay, so it's 10 to 7 on day 7. And all of our fields have now come up ready to harvest, along with quite a lot of others on the map as well. If we just go and have a look at the map, you can see all of these are now coming on to harvest. So we're going to take a couple of contracts. I think field 9 came up for contract, which is going to the central feed supply. So that's pretty good because field 9 is here and the central feed supply is here. So I'm going to take on that contract. I'm going to borrow the items because I'm going to use my own combine and trailer to start harvesting our own fields. And then after that I'm going to carry on taking as many harvest contracts as I can to start or to keep kind of building my budget, building my money, and paying off that bank loan. Now we did manage to pay off a little bit more yesterday. So as you can see, so we started on a Monday. So we're now day 7. And every day we've managed to pay a little bit off the bank loan. If I go down to the bottom here, hopefully you will see our loan interest has kind of gradually decreased, and our overall income, our harvest income and our contracts income has been pretty good. The last couple of days has been a little bit quieter. It was only kind of smaller fertilising contracts that came up, but we did do a few harvest contracts. So we've gradually been able to pay back about $285,000. So if you remember, you start with obviously $250,000 loan in farm manager mode. We boosted that up to the maximum, which is 535. So we've brought that back down to $250,000, and hopefully over today, day 7, and tomorrow, day 8, with the harvest contracts that we should be able to take on, hopefully we'll be able to reduce that by a fair old chunk as well. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to maybe the end of day 8 and day 9, that we will have cleared that loan. So we'll have to see how we get on. So I am going to accept field 9. I'm going to borrow the items. Actually, before I do that, I might just make sure that my reset point is for store deliveries is back at the store. I don't use it for having the items kind of delivered to a field, particularly when there's not much room to actually kind of put them. So the store's not far away, so I'm happy to go and pick those up. So I will accept field 9 contract. I'm going to borrow the items so I can go and pick those up. And in the meantime, I am going to get on with harvesting our own fields, and then hopefully you can see some of these have kind of come up for good contracts as well. Field 23, field 21, and that's potatoes. I'm not going to do that one. Field 9, field 1 ploughing. What else have we got? Field 8 is ploughing. But yeah, some of these are not too bad, quite reasonable. Field 18, that's very close to the farm, so we could do that one as well. And then hopefully some of the other contracts will come up. So I'm going to crack on with that, and hopefully we'll have a pretty good day. Now, I did mention in one of the other episodes that I was going to get some New Holland machinery and equipment because New Holland in Pennsylvania is obviously where the North American head office is for New Holland, and where it all started way back in 1890 something, I think. So one of those items probably will be a second combine, but it might not be this one that I've just borrowed for doing this contract. It's probably going to be, there's a couple of other options, I think a 690 and a 690 and a 590 that are available in the mod hub that are slightly smaller than this version. So I will probably get one of those in the future, but I obviously need to carry on paying off that bank loan. Then we want to get the cows sorted, kind of get those underway, and there'll be a few bits of equipment that I'll need to buy to be able to support looking after the cows. And then once I've done that, we'll probably get a third tractor, which I'm hoping will be a New Holland, and then at some point in the future we will get a second combine. But I'll have to see how that kind of goes. That's a little way down the line yet, but that's the plan. So I'm going to get this contract done on field 9. This is oat, and the selling point is literally just at the top of the road there, so that's really convenient. I'll nip down to the shop and pick up the truck and trailer once I've cut around this headland a couple of times, and then I'll put a helper into this combine to finish off this field, and I will start getting on with my own fields, because everything now 15, 16, 17 and 28 have all come up for harvesting, so I'm going to have a pretty busy day getting all of those done, but hopefully we should get some good money in, and that will enable me to pay quite a bit off that bank loan, and hopefully by tomorrow, so we're day 7 today, hopefully by tomorrow, close of play tomorrow, with the amount of harvest contracts that are probably going to come up, I'm hoping that I can pay pretty much all of that off, which will be pretty good. So from starting up, extending the bank loan up to its maximum of 535 so that we could buy the main farm in new farm manager mode. Hopefully within about 8, possibly 9 days, we would have paid off all of that loan, been debt free, and then we can start getting on kind of growing and expanding the farm. And kind of my long-term plan is I'd like to buy the sheep farm as well at some point. So we've got a kind of a farming presence in the middle of the map, but I don't know, we'll have to see. That might take a little time. Although the farms are not kind of that expensive actually, so so that's certainly kind of doable. But I'd also like to do, and I haven't really done a huge amount of in the past, some potatoes, sugar beets, and some of the vegetable crops that are available as well. But I'll probably look at focusing on the smaller fields for doing those. So if we did have the sheep farm in the middle of the map, some of the small fields that are around there would probably be ideal for doing that sort of thing. So we'll see. But I'm going to get on with this, and then I'm going to carry on harvesting my own fields, and that hopefully will be a good day's work. Right, I'll just get the truck from down at the shop. You can see I left my combine parked up here in the shop car park overnight last night. I've been doing some contracts at the fields around. That's field 25 just over the road there. We did that one yesterday, and then we did field 46, which is just up the road past the sheep farm. So instead of taking it back to the yard last night, I parked it up here because I wasn't sure if I was going to do another kind of contract or whether our fields would come up for harvest today. So I thought I'll leave it there just for the time being, and then we'll see where we are in the morning. So I need to come down and pick that up at some point, take that just back up to our farm, and then we can start getting on with our own harvesting our fields. I think I'll probably do field 16 first. We drilled that first, and then we did, so that's got barley in it, I think. Did I put barley in it? And then we've got fields 15 and 17 that have got canola or oilseed rape, and then I've got soybeans in field 28, so I'll do them in that order, 16, 15, 17, and then go down and do field 28. Now hopefully they'll crack through those pretty quickly. This field just off onto the right hand side, sunflowers, that's field 18, that's come up for contract as well. So I might get that one done once we finish field 9. Again, depending on how I'm getting on with the harvest, I might have to borrow the items for that, but it's generally not too expensive. The drop-off for the contract is through the trees is just behind us there. So as you can see, it's just down the road. Sorry, Mr. Car, you need to go in your way. So a really short distance. So that's kind of really convenient. And I should just be over here. Get through the grass here. Perfect. Right, whilst he's loading, I might just go and grab my combine and I'll take him back up the road down to the corner of field 16. Just put those in really, shouldn't I? Although we're in New Holland territory, I must admit I do like this John Deere combine. I think I find there's a really nice detail on it. I don't know if you've noticed at all, but down on the left-hand side, there looks like there's a sort of maintenance and greasing up map just down on one side, which is kind of nice. You can't really see the detail on it, but you can see the outline of the combine and various kind of points and bits and pieces. For doing all your maintenance in the morning, or some of it, and which is obviously very important. Don't often see people in farming simulator videos doing spending time doing maintenance, but there's quite a bit that needs to be done on the combine. So every day, and way back when in my teenage years when I worked on a farm. We'd probably spend the best part of the first sort of hour and a half of the day. By the time we got out to the fields, maybe 2 hours, doing the maintenance on the combines, doing all the greasing up points, changing fingers and sections on the cutter bar on the header, and just making sure everything was all in order. Sometimes cleaning out your stone trap and kind of dusting off your rasp bars and your concave and all various bits and pieces. So. And that was kind of fine because quite often there'd be a bit of dew on the ground and a little bit of moisture, and you couldn't start cutting until probably 10:30 in the morning anyway. So you normally have plenty of time to kind of do your maintenance first thing in the morning. Right, I'm just going to park up here, turn those off, turn him off, and I'll just go back and carry on with doing this one. So 2 times around this headland should be enough, I would think, with the size of this header. We'll go around 3 times. I don't know, sometimes you cut a fair old width out like this and you put a helper in and they still end up reversing over the corn, but we'll see how we get on. Hopefully they won't. By the time you've been round a couple of times with a header this size, you've probably cut a third of the field already. They're a fair old width, aren't they, these things? Are they 13.7 metres? That's pretty big. First header I had on a John Deere 975, got back in, must have been 1981, 82, was 16 feet. It's tiny in comparison to this thing, really. And the technology, of course, has changed an awful lot over that time. Used to have to do everything yourself in terms of setup, and now a lot of it is obviously done by computers. I think people still kind of tweak and fine-tune combine setup and everything, but I think a lot of it is initially done by the onboard computers and everything. But I don't know, very little knowledge of modern day combines. I just remember what we used to have to do when I was working on the farm in my teenage years. So hopefully 2 times around the headland would have been enough for here. I think he was just trying to catch up with the angle on the side there. So I'll let him just carry on that. I might, where is he, 66%? I might just let him run down here and then catch up and empty him. So his tank's all good, and then I can start doing the headland in field 16 with my own combine. Now all of these fields, because they're kind of shape and size, then they're not nice square shapes with big headlands. You do need to work your headlands and cut around the outside kind of yourself before you can start putting a helper in. But that's okay. I kind of like doing that. No issue with that. I really like the this style of map and everything, that you have to work a little bit harder yourself to do some of the farming. That's kind of good. You can't just plonk a helper in on the corner of the map and just let them get on with it. It's kind of nice that you have to do some of the work yourself. So that's pretty good. I'm going to jump in the truck when he turns around. Oops, start the engine up. When he turns around, I will empty him out, so he's got a bit of a clear run for a little while, which enabled me to cut round field 16 here, that's just over the road, so I can get the headlands done on that and then get a helper into that. And then you can see the farmhouse, it's just up on the rise there. Field 15 is behind that, and then over the tree line is field 17, so that will kind of be my focus on getting those done. And then hopefully in between I can get a few other contracts done at the same time, harvesting contracts as they come up, which should certainly kind of boost our money quite a bit during the course of the daytime. And it's only 7:30 in the morning. Now realistically it's a bit early probably to be cutting, but this is Farming Simulator, so it's absolutely fine. Right, I'll get this guy unloaded. So if you missed episode 2, I think it was, I exchanged the 65X header for the 630X, which is, there's a mod in the mod hub with a variation of headers that you can buy for the John Deere. There's a 630X and a 635X as well. So I swapped the header out because I knew I would be taking on quite a lot of harvest contracts. Hopefully some of those would be with my own combine, and having the extra header width was just probably going to be a little bit more helpful and just help us with getting through those contracts a bit quicker and cutting our own fields a bit quicker. So I've done that. Now this field, all our fields have had 2 lots of fertiliser on them, so they're 100% fertilised, and as you can see, we sprayed herbicide to get rid of all the weeds. So I'm hoping they should give us a pretty good yield. See how full we get by the time I get round to the farm. I'm probably not going to be full, but if need be I can just duck down to the farm and empty out into the silo directly. I have got my trailer down there, the big AgriLiner 45,000 litre trailer. I need to give it a bit of a clean. It's been pretty busy the last couple of days, so I'll give that a bit of a clean, bring it round to the field anyway, but might be just as quick for me to go and take the combine and empty it directly into the silo, I don't know. See how full we are. Let's have a look over the road. Can't see the combine. Just coming up past the farmhouse, and that's our field 15, and just through the trees you might have seen another silo. That's the pig farm over there, if you didn't realise. There we go, that's the pig farm silo. So that's just behind us. So field 15 here, field 17 is just up over the rise on the left hand side, and then field 14 sits beyond that, which is one of the fields, or the field that you get if you buy the pig farm, which is just, you can see through the trees there, field 14, and the pig farm just in the background. And here's our farm, just down over the rise on the other side. I do like this map. It's really nice. I think the layout is lovely. I love the way this little track kind of winds up through the fields to your farmhouse. And even if you buy one of the other farms, that still kind of remains the farmhouse. I did talk through on episode 2 how you can place a sleep trigger at the other houses that are on the actual farms themselves, but I kind of like the idea that you come back here to this farmhouse, the main farmhouse, kind of to sleep each night. I think that's kind of nice. So as we were doing our own harvest our own fields, we also took on a couple of contracts. This was field 18 with sunflower. So we borrowed the items for this contract so we could do that at the same time as doing our own fields. And then we took on more kind of during the course of the daytime as well. I decided to take some extra straw off of our field 16, put that into the hay barn. We did have a bit from the previous harvest on field 17 that we did last time round, but I decided that we could do with a little bit more in storage, so we did that. Now we only need this for doing TMR, we don't need it for bedding because we use corn stalks for bedding on this map. But we took the opportunity to grab a bit more straw while we could. And then after field 17, we started doing the canola harvest on field. After doing the harvest on field 16, we took on the canola harvest on field 15 and 17. Now they took a little time for us to do, but they were very profitable. So overall, so far on field 9, the contract that we took first thing this morning, we earned 28,000 on that contract. On field 18, for the sunflowers, we got a little over 19,000. On field 16, for the wheat that we had in field 16, we earned 58,000. And between field 15 and 17, we earned 118,000. So that was brilliant. And now, whilst we were doing all the harvesting, I took the opportunity to nip down to the shop and also get a cultivator or a set of disc harrows. Now, this was kind of the last item we really needed at the moment in terms of our kind of arable equipment. And I think I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that there was a good set of case disc harrows that are available in the mod hub under the disc harrow section. So if you're not aware of these, do go and have a look because they're very good value for money. They're only $10,000. They only need 180 horsepower to pull them, and they've got a 9.8 meter working width, which is really good. Enables you to cover the ground pretty quickly. And despite the fact that this John Deere tractor is only running 164 horsepower, it seems to be coping pretty well with the set of discs and kind of no real issue with them. So it seemed to be running at operational speed about 8-9 mile an hour, something like that. I think probably 10 is its top speed with the discs, but I was still kind of pretty pleased with the performance. So we did the headlands, and then we set a worker on doing these as well, so that was kind of pretty good. And a bit of an old traditional, slightly more traditional set of discs, kind of that X-wing style. The serrated disc at the front and then regular circular discs at the back, but they do a pretty good job. And then once we'd finished the disking in field 15 and 17, you may remember that fields 16 and 28 kind of needed ploughing, or in our case we were using the subsoiler to do these. Now the smaller John Deere tractor did struggle a little bit with the subsoiler, but it was still okay and did a reasonable job. Then during the course of the rest of the day, we just took on more harvest contracts, really to boost our kind of budget. So overall, I think we did another 9 harvest contracts. So we had a very busy day. We did field 29, we did field 26, we did field 20, 36, 56, field 44, 13 and 58. And then towards the end of the day, we took on field 33. Now, most of those we did with our own equipment, with our own John Deere combine. But towards the end of the day, when we were just finishing up one of the other fields, we borrowed the equipment and ended up using the New Holland combine again. So 33 was our last contract for the day. As you can see, it was beginning to get a little bit dark. Working lights were on at the combine. The sun was beginning to set, but this was a good contract for us as well and gave us some pretty good money. So everything that we did during the course of the day today, and we were kind of pretty flat out from 7:30 in the morning right the way through till kind of early evening, about 7:30 in the evening, and we accomplished an awful lot, earned a lot of money, and that was really good for our budget. So here's the map, guys, and as you can see, a lot of those purple fields out there we harvested today. So fields 20, 36, 56, 29, 13, 58, and of course 33 towards the end of the day. So really busy day, really pleased about that. But the bit that I'm really absolutely pleased about is that we earned just under $309,000 worth of harvest income and $57,000 worth of contract income. So that enabled us to pay off the balance of our bank loan. So we still had $250,000 to pay off, and we've managed to do that, and we've still got just short of $167,000 in the bank. So really pleased with that. We've had a very busy day, but a very productive day. And I had originally hoped that after about 8 or 9 in-game days that we would be able to clear our debt. Well, we've done that in 7 working days. So we started on Monday, it's now Sunday evening, so really chuffed with that. And that means that we can get on hopefully getting those cows sorted and in order, and we can start to grow the farm and start buying some fields. So really good day. So that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to leave a comment, then please do so. And if you haven't already subscribed, then hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on those notifications. So in the meantime, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, please stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you on the farm next time. Take care. Bye for now.